Hi, Sweet Pea.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
Here we are for another chit-chat
Second Chit-Chat.
of Series 2.
Ooh.
But although it's Series 2,
It's
Episode
still-
2, we're calling it Episode 12.
Yeah, that is. I've just realised that is what we're doing. So,
Otherwise,
yes.
we'll never get above 12, really.
No, that would be really sad, and we'll be like on episode 100 going, yay!
Yeah, Episode
100
12.
years!
So this one is Alex Mitchell,
Mm.
who was on Gardener's World in 2023. She was towards the end of that year, Episode 27.
Yeah.
And she had Swifty come visit her amazing gravel garden, didn't
Swifty,
she?
yeah. Swifty went in to see her, and she had this amazing gravel garden outside this kind of renovated barn area, kind of almost like a courtyard, would you say?
Yeah,
like that?
I'd say a courtyard, and she talks a bit about it on this episode.
Yes.
But on the episode of Gardener's World, one of the key things she talked about was the design of it. She said you have blobs, spiky things, and wafts.
Yeah, I really like that. It's a great way of gardening, actually. I would stick to that.
And I remember Jo was impressed as well.
Yeah.
And we find out that she does have a bit of a garden design background.
She does.
We hear all about her
She has a
interesting and convoluted career changes.
Like a lot of different career changes and a lot of different stories. Very funny.
So many stories with Alex. Now, this is one of the ones where I had to edit out around about 45 minutes to bring it down as close to an hour as I could.
We chatted and chatted
We still
and
go
chatted.
over. So much chat. She had us in absolute stitches, and I know we say this a lot, but she really did. She was so funny, so charismatic,
Really sweet.
and her
as
stories
well.
were incredible.
Yeah.
But as always, we have some noises to consider. So you will hear a weird noise sometimes when Alex is talking. That was nearer the beginning. And what she's doing is she's, with her finger, cleaning round, dusting the edge of her laptop, which had the microphone on.
I must say, I see you do that sometimes and I do it.
I'm
as well.
always doing it.
Yeah.
So
It's quite a satisfying thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. So she's doing that, but of course the microphone picks up on that.
Yes.
The dog... Yes, you Hobbs.
Yes,
she
you
does an absolute tap dance partway through. I couldn't edit that out.
Nope.
And also, Sweet Pea was very invested in everything Alex had to say, so is extremely expressive through this.
I just really get into good chat. I like a good chat.
She was wonderful. She talks about what she's doing now, so we hear about her amazing flower farm.
Yeah.
Which is currently closed this time of season, but when we chatted, I think it was in August, wasn't it, that we chatted to her? And, or maybe it was early September, but we heard about what was involved in setting that up.
Yeah.
And what you can do, how it works, basically. So it's a kind
Completely.
of pick your own type thing. So it's lovely to hear about that.
And on the opposite scale of things, zombie stories about her becoming a kind of living zombie. So funny.
Very funny. So we hear about her dream garden.
Yeah.
And it's throughout that all sorts of other stories come up.
Yeah. So as usual, the structure was your garden boundary, shed or greenhouse, 5 ornamentals, 5 edibles, 1 statement tree, pond or pool plus 1 plant, and your favourite seating area plus your favourite drink plus 1 plant for that area.
So I think without further ado, we should get cracking with it.
Sure will.
This is a good old chit-chat with Alex.
Let's go.
Welcome, Alex, to a good old chit-chat.
Thank you very much. Very exciting to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Are you joining us from your place in Kent?
I am sitting in my study in my
Yeah.
place in Kent, yes.
And that's the place we saw on Gardener's World with the gravel.
Yeah,
Gravel
it
garden.
was. Yes, the gravel garden. Yeah.
That was quite a long time ago now, wasn't it?
Well, it was. And also I had to record it year before it was shown. So it feels,
right.
it took so long to prepare the garden for that shoot. It basically 3 months.
Weeding like crazy.
Yeah, and I was so exhausted after that that literally the day they left, I was like, I'm not going into the garden for like a year.
Puts you off a bit.
Pretty much the following year, I did not go out into the garden.
Oh, really?
As a result, it looks a total state. So it's best to think of it as it was.
Yeah.
The TV.
That's all we know. But, in all honesty, we went down to see the Olds in Cornwall, didn't we, the other week, Sweet Pea? And that was just for a week. And our garden is a nightmare to the point that it's almost, we feel like we don't know where to start. So it's slightly terrifying.
It's scary.
We just want to hide
it
away.
can go crazy with the thistles, and because my garden was kind of a farmyard before. It was concrete.
So this was your family's farm?
Yeah, so I grew up here. My dad's a fruit farmer, and the family farm was around. The orchards are all around. And I grew up in this kind of little cottage with my family. And then next to our house was this derelict old granary building, which was stored farm machinery, and there were loads of bats living in it. And we used to play in it as kids. It was a brilliant playroom. And it had all these trapdoors because the granary had been, the grain had been upstairs.
Yeah.
And the horses had been kept downstairs. And it had this farmyard outside, which was concrete. And there was an rusted old farm lorry in the corner. Really lethal rusted farm machinery all around. Again, which we would play on.
A lot of tetanus jabs.
I don't know how we didn't die. They were like old farm scales, all literally rust. I mean, not even a bit of metal left. Yeah. We would jump on them and climb on them, and old ploughs, harrows. It was kind of a 70s childhood. And then obviously I went to school, university, started working, living in London. And then it came to 2012, and the opportunity came up that we could do this place up to try and make it into a house. Mm-hmm. So we did. And that gave me this fantastic space, which I had been craving for years, because my garden in London had been tiny, 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 with no sun.
Ooh. Were you very central London?
We were in Greenwich, which I loved, but it was a tiny bit. Well, it actually for Greenwich wasn't that small, but it was still tiny by gardeners in gardeners' world.
Post-stamp size.
Yeah, like you could get down to the end in 10 steps.
Yeah. Well, because you've written some books, haven't you, about gardening in small spaces?
Yeah, that's right. So I did several books on growing food in small spaces, and that was really inspired by living there, and getting really into it and finding out what could I get out of it, with pots, hanging baskets and all that sort of thing. And I got quite creative with that and quite inspired by it, so I loved doing that. And I did, in the end, 5 books. Yeah. Not all on growing food, but mainly about some small spaces. Mm-hmm.
And what did you do at university?
I did English at uni, and then went into publishing briefly.
All right.
Then I found an ad in the paper for chief sub-editor, Daily Express. And I thought, I'll have a go at that. I mean, the idiocy of youth. You just think you can do anything. Phoned up, and some guy said, you've got no relevant experience at all, but if you want to come and do work experience, then come in. So I did. So I went in and did that for a few weeks, and then that led to eventually being trained up as a sub-editor. So I was a sub-editor at the Daily Express for a couple of years, and then eventually became TV editor of the Daily Express in my late 20s. So I loved it. I was, enjoyed that whole world of journalism and the busyness of it.
I saw in your bio, you wrote on your website, you said that you love gardening. You used to love TV.
I still do.
You decided gardening was the more healthy option.
Yeah, it's really odd. Sometimes it's weird. As you get older, you start to analyse yourself more in patterns of behaviour because you have more space to do so. I can now look back and think, I just used to keep leaving things, and I'm not sure it was necessarily a problem with the thing. I think maybe I just do that. Yeah. Because I left publishing and then I left journalism. Well, I didn't leave journalism, but I left newspaper, like desk work, to go into gardening. So I think it might just be part of my personality that I'm always looking for something, because I'm now going into a slightly different world again, where I've got a flower farm, pick your own flower farm, so I'm growing that.
I saw this.
That's where most of my energy is at the moment. And maybe there'll be something else, but I'm quite keen on the flowers at the moment. But the journalism was fun at the time.
Theme.
Yeah.
I interrupted you a bit, asking you about your earlier background, and you were saying about this the concrete area that you did over for your gravel garden.
That's right. So it was concrete, and so I thought, well, this is a really good opportunity to do something like a yard space rather than make it into a lawn, because it's not ever had a lawn, and I knew that underneath the concrete would be really dead ground. because it would have been covered. I think that concrete probably would have been down since, for like 100, well, I don't really know, but a long, long time anyway. And actually it had been covered. The whole yard had a roof, and it had potatoes stored in there, animals, tractors. It had burned down in the 60s and left just the yard. But it has buildings all around. Anyway, so I had this sense that, I immediately thought, well, I don't want to have just a lawn garden, because this feels like a farmyard. And obviously I had very fond memories of it as a farmyard, playing there with my bike or whatever. And I wanted to keep that for my two boys. And I thought it'd be nice for them to be able to cycle round as well. So I thought I'd keep it with gravel pathways. And then I'd seen a photo. It was actually a garden designed by James Alexander Sinclair. And it was in a magazine. It must have been 2010 or something like that. And I saw it in a magazine, and it was these pictures of this farmyard. It was like a barn, and it had this gravel garden with, and it said, and the headline was something like, "It looks like it's been blown in from the fields." And it just absolutely lit me up. I was like, yes, this is the sort of thing I want to do. And then I went to the Beth Chatto garden with some friends.
Wow.
Which I've been wanting to do for years. And again, fell in love with it. And it was all knitting together. And then also I had this other really big influence, which was my grandparents lived in Chile. And we had always gone there on our holidays in the winters, because my mum was born there. And her family are from there. Anyway, they had this phenomenal garden. They were massive gardeners, my grandparents. And it was in this beach place called Cachagua, which is near Viña del Mar, down in the coast. And it was this beautiful little garden, and they'd made it, and it had gravel paths. Well, they were kind of sand, I guess.
Yeah.
And stones. And they were big on kind of native stuff. So they had some lovely, because Chile has some beautiful stuff, beautiful flora. And they had a lot of the native dry stuff. There were eucalyptus trees everywhere, beautiful trees and flowers. And I realised that was also sort of in my mind as a kind of blueprint for what I wanted to do. So with the Beth Chatto and with that, and then this article I saw, it all just kind of melded in. Yeah. So I had a really clear idea, actually. I knew what I wanted it to look like.
Okay.
And it took years before people kind of saw that, I think. Because a lot of the time a lot of people would, in the early days when I planted stuff or had the beds laid out, whatever, I really felt that people didn't get it. And often I would be like, well, it's going to grow. And I'd often get the sense people were thinking, this looks a bit flat.
Where's
and
the lawn?
There's nothing here. It's just sort of gravel and dirt.
Yeah.
But I knew that it would grow.
Did it take a while to establish then?
Yeah, it did. And also because I went about it backwards by mistake. I should have planted the shrubs and things first. And instead I sort of went annuals and perennials and little things, which I knew I wanted, but I didn't get the backbone structured down early enough.
Yeah.
So I get that.
We've done that. To do it the other way around.
Yeah, because you know the flowers you like and you know the feeling you want. So you're like, oh, I need this and this and this and this. So you plant that and it looks great, but it's a small scale thing. And then you're like, oh, I've got nothing in this bed to kind of hold the eye. Yeah. And I sort of did it mostly instinctively. And I talked to my dad as well, because he's a fruit farmer, but he's actually really creative visually, weirdly. I think he got the wrong career, because I think he would have been an excellent landscape gardener, because he was saying to me, I remember having a chat with him in a pub once, and he said, well, if you're going to do a sort of gravel garden, like a sort of thing like that, you need it to look like there's a reason for it to be there. Like you need to have a sense of, like, if it's like a dry riverbed type idea, you need to have stones around, or you need to make it make sense in itself. And I was like, oh, okay.
Good point, Dad.
So I just got a bit of paper and I literally drew, drew beds on it, and I handed it to the builders who were still finishing the house and said, can you, put the paths around here? And we put some self-binding gravel down, which is Breeden, Golden Amber, I think it was called. And they laid that, and then, because obviously once we'd taken the concrete off, the soil was really poor, so we luckily had some more space behind, which was a bit too high. So, and obviously the earth that had been extracted to make the paths could then be chucked on top. and then we had a bit of topsoil from elsewhere in the garden we could bring in.
So sorry, with the paths, you dug out the concrete there to then put the...
So all the concrete was taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were left
the whole
with,
area?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Right.
And then we're left with just very sterile ground.
What was the reason for not keeping concrete where the paths were going to be?
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. Well, I think it would have been quite hard to do practically because they would have had to cut it out.
Yeah.
It would have looked very hard. I wanted it
even
to
with
look
the gravel on top
soft.
of the concrete.
Yeah, but gravel on top of concrete is never going to work, is it? Because it kind of skids off,
slippery.
and you end up with
end
up with no gravel on the concrete.
Yeah,
and just gravel in.
Yeah.
So,
and how thick was the gravel that you put in?
Well, you put a bit of type 1 down first, and then you put a very thin layer of the gravel. The gravel's actually only, I can't remember exactly, but it's really thin, like a centimetre.
Yeah.
It's the type 1 underneath which has to be laid properly. It's quite a faffy job, and actually we've had to redo bits, and the type 1 keeps coming up, and the weeds are a nightmare. I mean, there are downsides to it.
Do you get many weeds coming through it?
Oh, dreadful. I mean, the weeds are hell.
It's just the constant trouble for us because we have to have paths. And
what do you have on yours?
Well, we do everything ourselves. We haven't brought anyone in to do anything,
No.
so it has to be whatever we can. And we're on a hill, so it has to be whatever we can carry in. We can't use wheelbarrows.
We've tried wood chip and weed suppressant.
Oh yeah,
we started with wood chip just because a lot of trees to be cut back, and I bought a wood chipper, and that looked pretty. But of course, then it's really a beautiful mulch for all the weeds to grow.
Yeah, it just degraded down, and all the weeds are just like.
Yeah, but don't you find the weed membrane a nightmare?
It's really awful. It's
never use it
membrane.
ever. It's a monstrosity, and it comes back and haunts you.
It really does, and we didn't know about that. So we're like, right, so obviously you put weed membrane down, then you put the wood chip, no worries. And we had exactly that problem. It comes back to haunt you. Threads are coming off. You're aware of all the plastic you're putting into the environment.
Yeah.
And it does absolutely nothing to hold the weeds back. It just makes it worse to pull the weeds up.
Can't get the weeds up.
We've then done some new paths where we decided we would just fly by the seat of our pants, not put any weed membrane down, not do anything. It was quite clayey soil that we dug out of a pond. And so we thought we could possibly get away with just a very thick layer of the clay and then a very thick layer of really cheap gravel. So stuff that when you put it on, it looks, what would you say, Sweet Pea? Kind of beachy,
like a concrete mix.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
quite ugly.
like that. It's really ugly.
But once it's rained, then it washes all the fine stuff down, and then you get more of the gravelly stuff. So then it looked.
Did that work?
It's worked well as having had weed membrane and gravel. So there are weeds that come up.
Better.
It's easier to pull them out.
Better than that.
At least you haven't got the membrane. And the thing is that you'll get annual weeds, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they'll come in from up above, but you won't get those deep ones because you've got that layer of clay and then the stone. I doubt you'll get them.
But we've also decided just to live with most of the weeds. That seems the best.
We're trying to live with the weeds.
I have to because I just haven't got the energy to get rid of them most of the time.
You say you've sort of jumped from career to career, but there's a big gardening theme running right back from writing articles, writing books, having a gravel garden, going on things like Garden as well, and now having a flower farm.
You're right, actually.
How did that come about?
I have no idea, literally. I mean, I wasn't interested in gardening at all as a kid, as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
No. For me, I think it's all about recreating or trying to create places that I like.
Yeah.
And I do love the scientific nerdery of it as well. I love the combination of things you get with gardening.
Didn't you
many
trained
things.
At Chelsea Physic Garden?
Well, I say trained. That's slightly exaggerated. I did actually. I have done 2 courses there at the English Gardening School at Chelsea Physic Garden. Right. I did a course on vegetables, which was really fun. And then I did a course. I did a very short garden design. Very good but short garden design course, because at that point another career change, but slightly within obviously in the garden area. That was the time when I decided I'm going to be a garden designer. I'm not going to be a garden journalist anymore because I'm going to be a garden designer instead. So I did that for a few years.
Was this before or after creating your gravel garden?
After.
Right.
I did the gravel garden. By the time it started to look decent and people were saying, "Oh, your garden looks great," and then it's sort of, because I was putting it on Instagram, a couple of people put it in newspapers. And I think at that time, not newspaper magazines, because at that time I was writing a weekly column for the Evening Standard. And I think, therefore, people are slightly more interested in you when you're doing something for a newspaper, which sort of probably is why I don't know whether that was helped or whatever. But anyway, so I suppose people started to say nice things about the garden. And then I thought, well, actually, maybe I do know maybe I have got an idea. Because I always used to think about myself as someone who could write, but had no visual creativity at all. I always thought, well, I don't understand that. I was never into art, can't draw, never saw myself as that person. Always thought I was a verbal person or like a writing person. But then the garden kind of did look nice. And I realised I was thinking about shapes and all this. And then I was starting to develop blobs and spikes. And I was starting to gain quite strong opinions about people's gardens as well, as I gained knowledge. And then I thought, oh, maybe I could do that. I could be a garden designer. That was really a bad idea for me because it's so hard.
So you did the course, and then did you set up as a garden designer?
Yes, of course. Wow. I set up cluelessly, but I did actually have some clients.
Did you?
And I don't actually think they were that. I think they were quite pleased with what they said they were. I was very hard work. I'm quite a perfectionist. So I'm quite obsessive, and so I did my best.
What sort of gardens were you doing?
Well, it was ranging from sort of rooftop in London, around rooftops in London. I did a lovely courtyard garden in Stoke Newington. I did some lovely planting design in some gardens around here in Sevenoaks. And I enjoyed it all, but I actually found the hardest thing, not the garden work so much as the dealing with people. I'm not saying they were hard, they weren't. They were very nice. But I just realised I found that really difficult. I had no confidence, basically. I think I felt like a total imposter. And so I never felt comfortable with what I was doing, and I always felt that I was going to be like they were going to tap me on the shoulder one day and say, "What have you done to my garden?" I didn't feel I'd had maybe quite enough length of course. I should have done a longer course. Looking back,
how long were you designing gardens for?
Sort of off and on, maybe 2 years.
Right.
And then I carried on doing planting design, which I was more comfortable in. Because the thing with the garden design, of course, is it's all about levels and retaining walls and engineering.
Drainage.
Steps.
There's a lot of engineering involved.
And I really couldn't, I didn't have the training. So I was just always worried that something terrible. The roof terrace, I was absolutely terrified because I was putting these massive planters on this roof.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
And silver birch tree. I had a silver birch tree. They had this roof chimney vent thing coming up, and I had to design this planter so it had a hole in it so it would fit exactly this flue. I had to, and all of this was way out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I did get obviously a surveyor, but I was learning all this as I went, and I got a surveyor to go and look at it, and he said, yes, this weight is okay, because I gave him my plans, something like that. And it was just above this phenomenal kitchen, this roof terrace. So I would literally wake up sweating. Yeah.
I would as well. I worry about things I've done here, and it's my own place.
And I was constantly having to do calculations. How much is 1 cubic meter of wet compost? What is the weight?
Yeah.
And
oh gosh.
Oh yeah, no. So I did it absolutely as well as I could, and I checked all the boxes, and I got the surveyors, and it was fine, and it is fine, and I know it's fine.
Still standing.
Yeah. But it was stressy, and I was worrying, and I don't even live in London, so I was coming up down Blackwall Tunnel at 7 o'clock in the morning in my van, packed with plants, sweating. Just panicking. Feeling out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. But then you went on to plant design, you said.
Yeah. So then I thought, well, the easier part of it is the plants part, where I don't have to say, well, build a wall, whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that, and that was fun. And I did some local gardens here with some friends and friends of friends and people like that. And that was fun, and I enjoyed that. But
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. Again, though, it is much easier when it's your own garden because you have the patience to know this plant is going to look really good in 5 years.
Yeah.
I do need to leave the space. And I think I tended to overplant because I worried about the impact visually to the person So I'd be like, well, it has to look good when I've left. So I think I often overplanted looking back.
But Nick Bailey, do you watch
No,
Gone as well
yeah.
at the moment? So he's had this new garden in Northamptonshire, and he took it from just bog standard fence and walls down one side and a lawn in the middle, and we saw it last week. It was completely transformed. But he said a few weeks back about how he packed in the plants, and he used sacrificial plants for exactly that reason. So you put them by that shrub that is going to grow to 2 meters wide at some point, but at the moment is only half a meter. But you pack out with these other plants that you're going to be losing.
I should have just told myself that's what they were, and I would have felt better.
Well, that's exactly what happened with me.
Putting
I
your
said
name
to
to
Sweet
it.
Pea, oh my gosh,
exactly.
we'll call them sacrificial plants. I won't feel
there we
bad
go.
because we pack it all in because we don't want a gap, even if it's only for a
You
couple of years.
Yeah, and you particularly don't if you're paying someone to make a beautiful planting design.
Yeah.
No, I completely get that. That's
it
brilliant.
suddenly gives you permission, doesn't it, once you call it sacrificial?
No, I like that. I'm going to do that.
So then, how did the flower farm come?
The flower farm came because, because Dad retired and the land was being sort of mainly sold off. And then I sort of thought, wow, what a shame. Because it was a fruit farm growing bramleys and pears. But then it had morphed slightly into a more sort of general, a bit of arable. There was some woodland and things like that. Anyway, long and short of it is, I managed to persuade him to not sell it all. So I've held on to some.
So that's right adjacent to you then.
Absolute joy. It's very near, but it's a 5-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
From where I live, but local. And so I look after that farm. I mean, it's a small farm. It's not really. I mean, in farming standards, it's a micro farm. So I'm in charge of altogether like 70 acres there.
Wow.
Whoa. So it's big compared to what it's proper big. Farm. It's massive. Yeah. I mean, it's not what a farm would be considered to be big. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's big for someone who's never been. And Dad, luckily, is still very helpful, and I constantly have to ask him things. And there's various other local people around who help me, which is brilliant. And I've got myself a little tractor now.
So tell me the layout. I saw that you have options where you can get a different size pot, and then is it basically like pick your own strawberries?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So you turn up, and there's like 3 different sizes you choose from: a small, slim, or large. And then I give you the bucket, put water in it, and give you some snips, and you just go and pick. And then you pay for that. So you pay for that bucket. So and if you want to take the bucket home with you, you just pay an extra, I can't remember, like a couple of quid for that one or 4 quid for the large. And that means you can then bring it back if you wanted. And actually it's lovely because I've had so many people come back with the buckets. Because the 2 littler ones are really nice buckets. They're galvanised buckets. So people like them and they bring them back, and then they just go for whatever they like, and they can pick whatever they like. And I just grow a mixture of just things that I think people would like. Lots of dahlias, cosmos, ami, sweet peas, snapdragons, sunflowers, anything that I can grow. And it's just in a corner of one of the fields. It's a very small.
Oh, right.
I mean, the actual flower plot is small. It's not as big as I want. I want it to be bigger, but it's only me. And then recently a local friend is helping me. We've done a lot of work, but there's only so much we can do. So at the moment,
what do you do with the other acres?
Big. So the rest of it is sort of, I've got it into a scheme, higher tier conservation stewardship scheme, which is fabulous. So we have a lot of skylarks, and we have a meadow which is considered has potential for species-rich restoration, which is good. Government like that because it hasn't been ploughed up since, I don't know, the 1940s. So therefore, it's got potential in it for phenomenal diversity of plants. So they want to encourage you to do that. So they give you a little bit of money to look after it in the way they want. So it kind of keeps the farm ticking along. I can then pay for contractors to help me. I can pay for my diesel for my tractor. I can pay for the seed to resow. And I haven't been in it long enough yet to work out whether it's going to actually lose me money or what.
Right.
But at the moment, it's looking like it will just pay for itself. So it's
early stages,
which is one of the reasons why I thought, well, how can I actually do something that might be more commercial? Because a farm that size, you're not going to make money with arable. It's not big enough, and the soil's not right anyway. You're not going to make money. We do have cobnuts. We used to have lavender. I've got some sheep. We have various things, but to make money as a farmer, and I'm just learning all this, it's such a big area and I'm such a novice. But from what I've read, what I've realised, you need to have a lot of land to make money, to have any chance of making money. And even then, they're not making much. They're not making anything sometimes because food prices are so low and their diesel costs are so high.
Yes,
and their
industry
fertilizer costs are so high.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I thought, well, could I do something a bit more commercial with the farm? What could I do? And then I thought, well, how about doing that? And I thought, well, that would totally fit into what I know about.
Yeah,
I'd feel like I could do that.
Yeah, and you enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, it's fab. And one of the things I love most about it, which is weird, is the people. Weirdly, because I've been a self-employed writer, writing journalism, books, for a long time, because I haven't actually worked in an office since I left the Daily Telegraph back in 2005.
Yeah.
That's the last time I had an office job, because I was editing TV there as well. And I think I miss the people. I think I found it quite hard being self-employed as a writer, because you don't see anyone.
No.
And when I was doing the garden design, I was seeing people, but there was no collegiate environment. There's no one to share anything with, because you are the only person.
Yeah.
And I don't think that really suited me. What I've enjoyed most about the farm is hanging out with my dad. I've loved that. Talking to him about,
really nice.
What shall I do with this? And I love that. And then this friend locally is helping me, and all the people coming to the farm who love it, and they love the flowers, and they love being on the farm. It's so pretty. The skylarks are singing. It's so nice. And they come back, and I think I've enjoyed that. So
yeah. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Well, we'll add a link to your, you've got a website and also your Instagram page.
Yeah.
We'll add that to the description of this podcast. We must talk about your dream garden.
Yes, we do need to talk about
I'm going to hand you over to Sweet Pea, and she'll run you through it.
Rightio. So, because we have talked all about flowers, veg, all sorts, and that you're a garden designer, this might be slightly easier for you.
This would be interesting.
And it will be very interesting as well. So, first of all, what is going to be your garden boundary? So, surrounding your garden, if you want one at all.
Well, you see, this is a difficult question, because, it depends what your area is, because I was thinking about this and I thought, your garden boundary, that would be the dream, would totally depend on where your garden was.
But where would your dream garden be?
So my dream garden would definitely not be anywhere near a city.
Yeah, you're a country garden.
Definitely country garden, pretty much almost wild, pretty much like it's in the countryside. And there's just a slightly more manicured vibe to it than the countryside.
So blends into the countryside behind it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So in terms of garden boundaries, I would go for something quite natural. I'd go for shrubs, things which look like they could be the edge of a natural shrubbery, like natural woodland, natural scrub. I have a particular obsession with dry countries, like Mediterranean climate.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like your Chilean.
And I think it's from that. And I just always want to go on holiday to Greece or Spain, or, I just feel so happy in those places.
Yeah.
The drier, the better. Love it. I like cacti, prickly pears, fig trees. I feel like that makes me it just makes me feel so happy.
Yeah.
And it probably is literally some weird nostalgia to be when I was like 8 or something. Yeah. I do think a lot of gardening is to do with quite subconscious things.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
I do think a lot of people have very strong feelings about plants, and often it's because they associate them with somebody they don't like,
often,
or a place. I have a friend who hates
smell.
hydrangeas because they reminded him of a very austere sort of Victorian relative, I think, who had them outside the front of their house.
Okay.
And some people love lavender because it reminds them of their granny.
Yeah.
So I do think probably a lot of my garden dream stuff is quite to do with this feeling of wanting to feel very safe, very relaxed, very free. So anything that makes me feel like that, I like. And I associate that with dry places. I don't really, I just do. So I would want something quite natural. Drought-tolerant plants. Things like mastic tree, pistache.
This is for your boundary.
Yeah, like they have it in Menorca and stuff. It's a low evergreen with very deeply lobed leaves,
Right.
that sort of thing.
It's called a mastic tree, did you say?
Yeah, the mastic tree. Filaria angustifolia, which looks a bit like an olive. I use that on the boundary. I use, and I love that because it's got slightly olive leaves, so it looks kind of dry.
Oh, wow.
I like sea buckthorn.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent as a boundary. So all of these things which are good around the edge but look really loose and not clipped. I'd go for that sort of thing.
Nice.
So yes,
Okay.
that'd be my boundaries.
That sounds good.
Gorgeous. What would then be your shed or greenhouse? Well, you've got a choice between the two.
Yes. Now, this was quite easy for me because I'm just about to get a greenhouse, which has been a dream of mine for about 40 years.
And 40 years only.
Well, maybe 40 is a bit much. Maybe 30. So I'm finally getting one. It's coming. I've ordered it. I've paid the deposit.
What does it look like?
It looks amazing. Okay, so it's wooden framed. Amazing. Cedar, which was silver, and a lot of the garden, and we've got this building in the garden which is made of oak, which is our biomass heating shed.
Oh, right.
And that's silvered, so this would hopefully blend with that.
Oh, wow.
It's not huge, it's 8 foot by 8 foot, so it's square, and it is wood framed, and I'm going to put a little one course brick thing around the bottom. It's got glass right to the bottom. I'm going to have staging around all 3 sides and shelving, so I can max the seedlings which I need to get going for the flower farm. Because this spring I just had every single surface in the garden, the table full of pots, and they started to rot the table, and actually I've made a hole in the garden table. Slightly in trouble.
So a new table on order as well.
Just to have a greenhouse to be able to grow all that.
Yeah.
So it would be a great. I've often dreamt of having one, and I've often looked around them at Chelsea Flower Show and thought, I know what I want to get one day.
Yeah.
So I already knew the company I wanted, Gabriel Ash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gabriel Ash.
I couldn't stretch to a Hartley Botanic, but Gabriel Ash.
When does it arrive?
Well, I think it's going to arrive in 2 months, but I have to get the base done first.
Yeah.
But I found a local guy who can come
So you're not doing it yourself?
No, because it's really complicated. There's this plan. It's like, you must do the base to this exact, and it must... No, that would just...
Get a man who can in.
Exactly. So getting in a man who can.
Well, that's very exciting. Cool. In a couple of months.
Yeah.
Would you like your dream greenhouse to be like the one that you're getting, or would you like it to be like one of the ones?
No, the one God no, the dream one would be 5 times bigger. Obviously, it would have
8 times
brick.
5.
I'll tell you what it would be. It would have brick slightly higher up. It would have opening roof vents. Obviously, in fact, I think mine's that. It would have a gorgeous weathered, aged red brick floor. With beds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It would have some kind of radio in it. That's very old school,
so
isn't it?
Jam away with some music.
So I could listen so I could keep up with the archers when I'm in there.
Okay,
and
that's more reasonable.
And a chair, so I can hide from people.
Yes.
It would be basically... Yeah, no, it would be huge. It would be massive. Absolutely.
Okay, and would that also be cedar framed, your dream?
Oh, my dream one? Yes, it probably would be cedar framed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love
wood.
wood.
But 5 times bigger, really, and that lovely aged red brick floor.
I do love wood, generally.
Yeah, we're the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Absolutely amazing.
So 5 times the size, okay?
Yeah, so it's 8 times... If I've done the maths correctly, 8 times
feet.
by 40 foot by 40 foot.
Yes, at least.
That sounds cool. What would be your first favourite of your 5 ornamentals?
Okay, so this is a hard question, obviously, because it depends where, what time of year, what mood you're in, blah, blah, blah. So I've been thinking about it, and I've tried to kind of give a sort of varied, and they're quite odd things, I think, but never mind.
Oh,
so
perfect.
My first one is a particular clematis with a really unpronounceable name.
Oh, no.
It's called Clematis tritonata rubromarginata. It's a climbing one, obviously, and it has little flowers, and they're
delicate
pink
flowers
with but they smell of marzipan.
Oh, wow.
And there's lots and lots and lots of them, and
Is
it's
that not
very
cyanide?
subtle. No, that's almonds.
That's almonds.
Almonds
Okay.
are
Yeah, but
they're not. Marzipan is
almonds.
almonds.
Actually, yes, it is. That's
Yeah.
true. But they smell kind of marzipan-y. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one.
When does
and
it
it's
flower?
Small. Now, sort of just finished.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
lovely.
kind of cloud.
And do you cut it back?
Ooh.
So you cut it once. It's one of those, I think it's a group 2. So you cut
Right.
it late spring down to about, a foot. One of those ones, which is quite good because they kind of are quite easy to manage.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
I've just got
nice
it growing up the
tendrils.
side of our shed, and it kind of works its way around and just hangs on to
gorgeous.
Other things.
Yeah. What's your second ornamental?
Okay, so always love cistus. Love them. Just joyful, shrubby, gorgeous flowers. Lots of them. Papery, ephemeral, last a day. And they're short-lived as plants, but they're also quite short-lived as flower. Like the flowers don't last long. But when they're in full flower, they are really prolific. So you'll get in June, you'll have like absolute, like the whole thing will be covered in flowers.
Oh, that's
And very
so
drought
cool.
tolerant as well, aren't they?
Very drought tolerant. There's one particular one which I adore, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically pink, and it has a sort of almost like a golden middle, like a tiny little golden centre, and it looks like it's and the leaves are tiny bit greyish, and so the effect is kind of like it's metallic. The whole thing looks kind of like it's lit up. It's really beautiful.
Okay.
But I've got loads of them, and some of them are vast now.
Really?
Yeah, like huge.
And do you cut those back?
No, I don't.
You just let them go.
I let them go until they die, and then I would replace it because they hate being cut back. When I have tried to cut them back, they seem to just die back.
Okay.
They don't like it at all. I think they're best treated as short-lived perennials. Let them do their thing. If they're really happy, like the ones in my garden are, they'll grow. The ones I've got are sort of, they're up to my head height and as wide as as long as me.
Are you tall?
At some point, no, I'm only 5'5". I'm average height.
Okay.
But they would.
I'm 4'2", but they grow as tall as me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that reminds me of when I was at Wisley once, and we were going, and I was doing this vegetable course, and we were all such keenos, and none of us had a clue. And we were at Wisley, and we were being taught something, and this guy was going, so, what you want to do is cut these when you get to head height. And one of the women was put her hand up, and she said, well, whose head height, mine or his? And I thought, well, yeah, you're just learning, and you're so anxious about everything. It's so funny. But she was tiny.
What's your third ornamental?
Oh, okay. So again, this is a sort of nostalgia one, really. This is a Californian poppy.
Oh,
Californian
gorgeous.
poppy.
Yeah.
So that's one because it used to be outside the door of Granny and Grandpa's house at the coast, and they had this big shrub of it, and it was just huge. And my cousin, who is also ludicrously nostalgic about this place, which we used to go to, took some. The house, unfortunately, has been demolished.
This is the house in Chile, right?
Yeah. So my cousin took some seeds from this plant because she wanted to prolong, the memories, blah, blah. And she gave me a Tupperware of them a few years ago and said, if you ever want to, hear some seeds from Granny Grandpa's house, I was like, yeah. Put them in a drawer, forgot about it, obviously.
Oh.
And anyway, this last year, I suddenly thought, I'm going to do this. I'm finally going to do this. So I found...
so recent.
Yes, I found a Tupperware in the drawer. Looked at the pods. They looked about right. Looked it up. It said this is really, really hard to germinate because it grows after a fire. So you sort of have to mimic a fire. So some people
you set light to your garden.
You have to set light to your garden, or you have to sort of blow fake smoke over it, or put it in the fridge and then the oven every other day for 17 hours. And all that. Yeah, it was really complicated. And then it said. Really so I thought, well, I'm not doing any of that because I don't have that, but I can just have a go at it. So I set up a little WhatsApp group with my mum and my aunt and my cousin. Like, here they go, I'm sowing them, put them in. And every few weeks, I'd give them an update. And these things, all of them germinated. Oh. And they were all really happy. And they were all like, wow, you're so talented. I can't believe you got these things to germinate. They're so hard to germinate. And I was like, I know, it's amazing. They kept growing these things. And they were amazing. And they grew to seedlings. And I potted them on into little pots. I gave 2 to mum, 2 to my aunt, 2 to my cousin. Kept 2 for me. They kept growing. And then one day, I suddenly looked at the leaves of them and I thought, these actually look a bit odd, familiar, and I don't know why. And then I realised why. They were brassica leaves. The little
so you'd been So these weren't your California poppy seeds?
These were radishes.
How did that mix up?
Because I think I must
have
have been
so many questions.
exactly the
Tupperware.
Well, I think someone had given me a Tupperware of some radish seeds years ago. Again, pods of, and I had
in the same drawer.
Well, who knows what drawer? Because it's this house is chaos. I mean, we barely keep on top of basic, admin. So there was a Tupperware which with these things, right? And I think actually, thinking back now, I may have thrown away the precious ones by mistake.
No.
So anyway, there I was, and I by now already Mum had planted hers out and given them lots of space, and the rest of it. Everyone had planted theirs out. Everyone was like excited. I'd planted mine out, and I'd fitted protector around it with bouquets and everything. And then I realised I was growing up a single radish.
That is hilarious. So those California poppies are never to be found again?
No, the quest for the Holy Grail, that memory has to be consigned to memory. They've gone.
Are poppy seeds and radish seeds, do they look very similar?
No. I mean, none of it makes
sense.
It's just moralism on my behalf. I just hadn't even, and when I look back at the pods, right, they were obviously radish pods. They were long, dry radish pods. And because I'd grown because my dad lives in Rye and I'd planted his garden up for him and we included these. And I kept thinking, these don't really have the same leaves. That's odd. Never mind. Maybe they're, the first leaves are different from the others, and that was bad.
That is very funny. So you need to get some California poppies from Chile then?
Yeah, I do. Or just from,
crocus.
To
smuggle them back.
But yeah.
Because they self-seed beautifully as well, don't they?
They do,
California
actually.
Poppies,
So are they quite easy? Hang on a minute.
Really
I keep saying California poppy, don't I? Yeah. I don't mean California poppy.
Oh.
Because I know what those are. They're easy. They're the orange ones.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the tree, the white ones, the big white ones with the yellow centres. Huge ones.
The Oriental poppies.
No, not even poppies. They're not even poppies.
They're not even poppies.
No,
I've just
God, I don't know. You've made me turn my phone off. I can't even search. It's called a Californian tree something.
Peony. Tree peony. That could be it.
It's not a peony. It's not a poppy.
And what's the flower like?
What is this?
Is it a big blousy?
Romnea. Okay, flower? This is the Latin name. Romnea coulteri.
Okay.
Romnea coulteri. I'm now going to look it up.
Look it up because I can't.
All right. Romnea.
Daisy?
Romnea. Peoneer. Californian tree poppy.
So it is a poppy, but it's a tree poppy.
Oh.
So yes, forget. So all that stuff about the California poppies, just ignore because they're orange and small, and they're not hard to grow.
Easy.
They're really easy.
I know. So God, what an absolute no, sorry.
Californian tree poppy.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this what you had at your grandparents'?
Yes.
Okay,
that's what they do.
This is all making sense now.
You can buy plants, but they're quite pricey, and also it's quite tender, and it needs to be protected against a sheltered wall, and the ones I planted at Dad's garden both died.
Right.
Even though he's in Rye, which is...
Hold on, but those were the radishes.
No, I bought those from Crocus. Oh, no.
Okay, good.
Because I had bought plants from Crocus for that.
Okay.
For him.
Okay.
But these particular seeds were they both died. I think they got
did
wet.
You say it was because it was too wet there?
I think they got too wet, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm not disappointed that it's not a California poppy because I do love California poppies, but also we've got them everywhere self-seeding all the time, so it's not as unusual as I was hoping.
No.
I was slightly wondering
why
it was so hard
bad?
for you.
So how long does a California tree poppy last?
I don't know because I've never been able to grow it.
But you can tell me a lot about radishes, right?
But I know a lot about radishes. And I think the radish got eaten by the hens. I don't think I even ate that.
So really, all in all, a huge success.
Yeah, this is why I'm anxious about taking cuttings, because I can't even germinate seeds.
I love that. Or label things.
No, I never label things. Who does?
Oh, no.
No.
Who does?
Exactly.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you for that.
What is actually going to be your fourth ornamental?
Oh, so this is quite a simple one. This is a very simple one, and it is a boutilon Kentish Pride, which I very much like. Loving a boutilon. And this one grows against the wall at my house here. It's very sweet. It's very easy. So it grows against the wall, and it's like a wall-trained shrub, one of those loose wall-trained shrubs that are actually best left to their own devices a bit. They're quite difficult to tie in. They're not neat. They sort of have these rather brittle, sort of long shoots, and they're easy to snap. So it's best to kind of avoid manhandling it too much. But at the same time, it is quite good at responding to being cut back quite hard.
Right.
So you can do that.
Okay.
And it's grown here about 10 years. I never had a problem with it dying back or getting any frost. It's on a south-facing wall, though. Yeah. It doesn't climb. It's got no tendrils, but you can tie it back into a wire or something. Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like parallel wires. But it's not neat, No. It sort of wants to go where it wants to go.
Yeah.
So it's not a tidy plant.
No.
And it will keep trying to grow out into the bed.
Towards the sun.
It doesn't want to stay back.
Is it evergreen?
No. And it looks totally dead in the winter, like dead. And in fact, it comes into leaf really late as well. So you often think it's dead. Okay. So by sort of April, there's nothing. So I often have to scrape the bark to see if it's green, and it is.
For your conscience, just to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. Catalpa trees are the same. They look dead until really late.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that. I booted on Kentish Pride. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's a nice
Never
one.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Well, we're now on to your final ornamental. What is that?
So my final ornamental is Allium roseum. A tiny bulb, a tiny allium, vastly different from those massive ones. Mm-hmm. So it's pink, it's small. It is so beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful, and it has a garlicky scent to it, obviously. Its common name is rosy garlic. And it spreads.
Rose garlic.
So if you get it in, it's just a rosy garlic. You get it in and it will spread wherever it is, year on year.
Oh, lovely.
It flowers in sort of early, so sort of May, June. And it kind of goes very well in the gravel garden because it really goes well with. I've got behind it a nice cornflower, a perennial, one of those perennial cornflowers, and lots of stachys. Yeah.
Tell me how big these little alliums are that you're talking about.
Like that.
So what would you say?
So about a foot.
So about a foot.
Inches,
probably less than that. Probably 8 inches or something.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, gorgeous.
Maybe even less. Yeah, they're subtle.
So what's going to be your first edible plant?
So my first edible plant will be padron peppers.
Oh,
so that's
a
type of chili pepper, but it's quite mild, comparatively mild.
Can you grow these from seed and get fruit the first year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Aren't you growing padrons, Sweet Pea?
They're an annual.
They're dead.
Oh, they're the dead ones.
Yeah, that's what happens to me and chili seeds every year. That is literally my thing.
They're not. They're not easy chilies.
No.
It's because you need to start them off so early. I mean, you really need to get them in a heated propagator February because they need that length of time. I mean, if you buy a plant from a garden centre, it will have been sown in January and then brought on in a heated greenhouse. So if you expect to sow in March, you're not going to get anything much time because they need to mature. The fruits need to mature. So I've grown loads of chilies and had varying success. Usually just through user error. I find it's usually because I forget to water, and if you don't water them enough, they can't set fruit, so they'll flower, and then the flowers will fall off. Yeah. So when I was doing this book, Crops in Tight Spots, I really experimented a lot with how could you get the most out of a small space, and I thought padron peppers are great because you can actually eat the whole thing. And well, I suppose also because I just don't really like really spicy, I don't really like chilies that much. So it was kind of a way of doing that. And I grew them in pots, I grew them in terracotta pots that were 30 centimetre diameter, 30 centimetre deep. So not tiny, decent compost, grew them from seed. Okay. And then just grew them on in there. I think I had 7 pots of them. And I got loads of padrons.
You're talking past tense if you stop doing them.
I haven't done them this year. I didn't do any chilies this year. The whole veg side of my life has sort of disappeared because now I haven't got enough energy for it as well as the flower farming. And I have got a veg patch which I made around the side of the garden, sort of behind it. And I made raised beds and I've got raspberries and things like that. I think I'm going to have to just get rid of it because I haven't got the energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
It's
It
too
is time
much.
consuming, isn't it?
Also, it's too far away from the house and I haven't got water access there, which means the hose has to be dragged with an extender cable all the way along, and that's just a pain. So I end up not watering it. I did collect water from the roof of our barn in a water butt, and I put a pump in it, and I had all sorts of plans to use that. But I was cleaning this pump, and I'm not sure exactly that was what happened, but I got this very nasty eye infection 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? No, 4 years ago. And really horrible, nasty eye infection, like so bad that I lost vision in my eye. And then I had to have a corneal transplant in 2020. Yeah, it was major. Had a corneal transplant in 2021. This eye, so I can now see, but it's still not right because it's now created. Because basically they sew on someone else's cornea.
Yeah.
They take off. I mean, it's bad.
It's awful.
It's a local anaesthetic. And the surgeon kept saying to me, "So what's your favourite plant?" And I was like, Pittosporum. I remember saying that to my mum afterwards. She was like, "I can't believe you said Pittosporum." I said, I don't know. I said, and I said to him, "Well, because there's so many varieties, so many types." As I was panicking and saying, "Please give me more painkillers. I can feel the needle going in." It was bleeding. Anyway,
I hate eye things. That's
no,
awful.
eye things are
I
awful
hate
unless
eyes.
they're your eye, and that's also awful. But you just have to do it. So you have to think, right? Well, either I have this, or I literally will have a look. I look like Storm from X-Men with those white eyes. So one of my eyes looked exactly like that. My son said I looked like a zombie because I had this terrible infection, and the infection basically eroded and ate my eye. Right? It was appalling,
awful.
and therefore the scar tissue makes your eye go completely cloudy. I looked for a few months. I looked utterly terrifying.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Anyway, long story, but that's why I'm a bit suspicious of water. I'm very
So that's
anxious
why you're giving
now.
up your veggie garden.
I genuinely never go near stagnant water with bare hands anymore. Or if I do, I will wash my hands like hell because there's stuff in that water I do not want near my eyes. And it's because I wear contacts. I had contacts. It wouldn't have happened if I hadn't. But anyone who wears contacts and gardens, be really aware of this soil-borne, water-borne bacteria called Pseudomonas. It's nasty.
Is that what it was then?
Yeah, it's nasty.
So this is a very interesting conversation to have because my eyesight gets worse daily, and I went to the optician last week, and she said, "Well, what you should do is have a multifocal lens transplant." And she said, "I'm going to do it when I'm old as well."
Okay, nice. It's always nice when they add that in. I don't like having a health practitioner younger than me. Always older, please.
She was great though. She called a spade, and I said, "Right, that's what I'm saving up for." It costs a lot of money. It's like a 10-minute operation for each eye, thousands and thousands of pounds. So
it sounds like the most awful
saving
thing
up,
ever.
remortgage the house, but it would mean I could see again without needing glasses because I can't use contacts. I fainted when I tried to put those in.
She went green in the face.
I went green and fell off the stool, fainted. After 2 hours, the optometrist said, "Well, some people just aren't cut out for the contacts," because she was giving up on me. But so that's interesting, and it's largely because of gardening, because you want to see close, you want to see far. I can't be changing my specs all the time and finding my specs, getting my specs scratched, all this kind of thing.
And calling me, "Can you find my glasses?"
Yes, always. They're on your head.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I thought contacts would be the answer if I could get over my fear. But then when I heard about this op, I thought, just do that, be done.
But my surgeon said to me, "Have you ever had laser?" And I said no, and he said, "Good." He said because it takes away, so it thins. Obviously, they're thinning so they don't like it. They want you to have as much there as possible in case they need it for.
Well, I asked her about laser. That's how we got onto this transplant. I said, so I want to know more about laser. Will it work for my eyes? And she said, "Well, not really. It'll solve because my short sight and my long sight is going. My middle is all right. So I need 2 different types of glasses." And she said, "So it can fix one, but not the other. So you're still going to need glasses." And then she got me onto this transplant.
Okay,
but I had
I've
a
never
similar
heard of this
thing.
transplant.
Oh well, I can send you some information if
Yeah,
you like.
yeah, do. Yeah,
But I had a similar issue, and I'm wary of stagnant water. We got in a load of water butts because I wanted to just harvest loads, and it was when I'd had particularly dry summers, and I thought, right, we need to get on this. And got them all in, and we've got 1,000 litre water butt that sits above the veggie garden. And I'm too nervous to use it now because I was siphoning water from one water butt to that one before I got the drains all connected, and it had this long hose, and I was sucking it out, and occasionally I'd get some in my mouth, and I was so ill afterwards.
Really?
And then of course there are things like Legionnaire's
you could have got
disease. You've got to be
giardia or
careful
something.
I could have got anything, couldn't I? And
it was bad.
So I'm too scared to use that water butt above the veggie garden for the veggies because I don't
you're
know
going to
what
eat
else
it.
is getting in there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So that if I now need to work out some other pipe work to get it past the veggie garden down to the flowers.
Yeah, it's interesting water because everyone wants to save water, and it's a big kind of message, isn't it? A big public message. You must save water, you must save water. But it's how do you do that safely? And I don't think the information's out there, and I don't think people know because I've looked it up and there's not really any information. It's all very, very headline.
Yeah.
Do a good thing. Save water, but it's like,
positive,
how do I practically do this without killing myself? How do I practically do this without eating, becoming ill? And is it safe to use it on my vegetables? And how do I know if it is? How do I try? All of these questions. I don't think people. I think it's just one of those. It's a bit like greenwashing. I think people say it because it sounds good, and I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think the practicalities are often thought about.
It's
you
not
can't
that
store
black and white,
water. You can't store stagnant water for long without it becoming really dangerous for humans. Like we've got a hot tub here, which we bought years ago in a moment of madness, and it's wooden because obviously we want it to be wooden. And
is it wood fired?
Without it's obviously wood fired. I mean, all of the tips, wood fired, wood, no
Beautiful.
plastic liner, no pump, nothing sensible like a pump. When the kids were small, they loved it. They'd go in, and we'd all go in, but there was always some really creepy animals living in there. Like we used to call them the bloodworms. I don't know what they actually were, but they looked like little bloodworms, and it got very slimy very quickly. And I quickly realised the dream of having, a wooden hot tub is pie in the sky because you've got to have something to circulate the water. You've got to use chemicals, and it's made me just wary. That's all.
No,
water.
I'm on the same page as you. I'm very wary now. We need to sort out our water butt situation.
Right, well, back to the plants.
Yes.
What's your second edible plant?
My second edible plant is a very simple one, and that's runner beans because it's so easy and they're so nice and they're just so summery, and you can grow them very easily in any. Well, they don't grow so well in pots actually, but they're really good in the ground, and
they don't take up a lot of real estate, do they? Because
they don't take up a lot of real estate, but you do have to make sure you get them away from the slugs early on. As long as you can do that and get them off to a good start, they'll be fine. And then you can, so I love those. They're a really good one. I would always grow those.
Oh, yummy. What's your
the other thing
one?
is definitely raspberries because they are so easy and they are so productive and they're long lasting. They need nothing much done to them, particularly if you grow the autumn ones.
The autumn ones are great, aren't they?
Why not? Why make life hard for yourself? I have grown both, and I did sometimes feel maybe the summer ones pit them on the flavour front a little bit.
Right.
But that could just be the year. It could be, I don't know when I picked them. So the good thing about the autumn ones, of course, is you just cut them to the ground, late winter, easy peasy.
They're nice and easy, aren't they?
Also, then you can give yourself a bit of time to weed. Bit of space around to weed, whereas the summer ones you're stuck with your weeds. You can't get in there.
Have you heard of the everbearing ones?
No.
The new varieties. They're some of them are these golden raspberries. There's some new varieties of everbearing raspberries, and it gives you 2 crops. It gives you one, if I remember correctly, it's kind of late summer, so it's kind of summer October time. Yeah. And then the other crop is early spring, and so on this one cane, it will flower at the top. You just cut off the top, I think, and then it will flower again underneath, and then that's your cane finished. So it's pretty cool.
That is
new
good.
Variety.
Then maybe we should try that,
really
actually.
Easy.
I mean, that is a good one. There's quite a few of those sorts of they kind of graft on these different types where you can get, like there's that little mini mulberry tree people sell. But I don't think it's the same as a mulberry. Because actually, I haven't said mulberry on my list, but actually, it is the best fruit in the world.
Needs to go in?
Do you want
Well, I
to put
think
that in
maybe
your
I
list?
should.
Is that your fourth one then?
No, because I was going to say Japanese wineberry, but I'm now thinking
They can have a
maybe.
special mention of mulberry.
Can I have a special mention for mulberries?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing nicer. Japanese wineberries are really good. Have you grown those?
Oh,
They're really good.
No,
Excellent.
never before.
Okay, so you should do that. They're really good. Grow them
And
against a
drought
wall.
tolerance?
Yeah. No, I'd never watered mine.
Okay.
It's in quite a shady spot, though.
Okay.
It's a very pretty plant for a start.
Oh, okay.
And the berries are very pretty as well. And they're very nice. They're sort of orangey coloured, orange-red. And the stems are kind of pink and bristly.
Oh,
and in
I
the
like
winter, it looks quite cool because you can wall train it. And it's quite striking as a plant.
Sounds pretty.
And it's easy to look after because you just cut the flowered shoots to the ground and let the non-ones do it. So like a blackberry. And the fruits themselves, they're just got a sort of strangely sticky, and that sounds horrible actually, but it isn't. The texture of the skin of them, it's very sort of thin, I think. So when you eat them, they kind of almost dissolve in your mouth, unlike a raspberry.
Oh.
You know, like a raspberry is made up of lots of separate little pieces.
Yeah.
With these, it doesn't feel like that. And they're very sweet. They don't seem to get eaten by birds.
Yeah,
and then my final one would be sweet corn, because if you've ever grown sweet corn and eaten it, it's just on another level to anything you buy, because it's the whole sugar starch thing.
Yeah.
And
Great choices.
It's not easy to grow though, but if you can get one, bloody lovely.
I'm glad you said that, because we have varying degrees of success with it.
What would be your statement tree in the garden if you could choose one tree?
Okay, so I've got weeping pear, Pyrus silicifolia.
Oh,
not a special tree.
It sounds like you're going to have a list there.
No, there's only that one and one other. It was just that's a tree you'd have in the garden, and the other one would be a wall trained Magnolia grandiflora, which I have here against the house, which I absolutely adore.
Gorgeous,
lovely, gorgeous.
But if you had to choose one, which one would you?
The magnolia.
The magnolia would be your statement tree.
Yeah, and it would be against the wall though.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I love that sort of glossy thing.
What type was it?
Grandiflora. Yeah, the evergreen magnolias.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, like
absolutely
the massive
gorgeous
ones. But if you train it against a wall, it doesn't look as, because obviously when they're standard trees, they're huge, and they're still huge against a wall, but they obviously only flat, so it's not quite so dominating.
So I don't know about training a magnolia against a wall.
Yeah.
Is there anything special you need to think of, and what supports you use?
I sort of muddle through, so I make parallel wires, and then I sort of try to encourage to make horizontal branches by pulling down and chopping off anything coming out, chopping off any branch coming outwards, and chopping off anything that's in the wrong place, as in going across a window, because it's growing up the wall, so there's windows all around it, so I have to sort of shape it. And then this last year I topped it because it had reached the gutter, the eave.
Right. Wow.
I had to lean out of the bedroom window with a long thing. And that was a bit scary. And then had to tie the top stem with a piece of hessian, because it was all I had, which was also really scary, because it was literally
all out the window.
It's like, top of that. It's a 3-story. We got the bar. Like, we live in a 3-story house, so I was having to.
Oh, did someone have to hold your belt buckle?
Actually, it wasn't 3. It is 3-story, but no, it's only really a 2-story because there's in the roof. Sorry, no one was doing that, and I could have died. It would have been awful. Terrible way to die.
Because I do a few things out the window, and I have to get Sweet Pea to hold on to my trousers.
It's very easy to topple out. You can easily get your balance over.
To topple out of your trousers?
You can topple out of your trousers. I mean, I've got a henchman ladder, one of those ones, very tall, but it's a 3-tripody one, and actually that doesn't help because
that's cool.
You're so far away. You can't reach.
Of course.
I hate going up high on these things. It's horrible. This is when I think, where are all my garden? Like, why haven't I got? Because we used to have this fictional couple called the Cumberbatches who would do all the stuff for us in our house. Like, Morris and Jean. And in our mind, Morris and Jean Cumberbatch were always there, and they would draw us a bath. It was when the kids were tiny and we were so tired.
Wow.
And it would always be he's bringing the car out. It's a stupid little thing. But I always think, why I want the Morris, the Mr. Morris Cumberbatch to sort out the magnolia
to
tree.
lean out the windows. And
they don't exist, sadly. I think
what
we've been
about
watching too much Downton.
Yeah.
The what?
What about the trunk? Do you have to worry about the roots and the foundations of the house?
Probably.
But you're not going to worry about that.
But so the magnolia roots, they probably would eventually disrupt. But there aren't any foundations to this house because it's a barn.
Right. Of course. So they'll just grow up through the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty. It's good. You can say to your friends, look at this beautiful root in the kitchen. This looks amazing.
Yeah, that's true. The ivy is coming in and it's going up. Yeah.
I love your very relaxed approach. I lie awake at night worrying about all these sorts of things. So we planted a wisteria right against the house because I always loved the idea of a purple wisteria hanging down. And it was then to go across this pergola that we built, and then it started growing beautifully, loads and loads of foliage, no flowers yet. And
gorgeous.
Then I read that it was a Chinese wisteria, which are more of a concern with the foundations of your house than a Japanese one, and I should have got a Japanese one. So I then cut off the wisteria. I say cut off because I couldn't pull it up. So I cut across it, and of course it keeps regrowing. I have to put something, maybe some salt and vinegar in the top of it, something. Because I just was too fearful of it. So, and I still really love a wisteria, but I worry about what it's going to do to the foundations.
But they always grow up houses, don't they? So does that mean everyone's house is about to fall down?
But I think, unless I misunderstood, I think they're the Japanese ones which are less of a concern.
I do have a dim memory of learning that. Something about
did you? Okay.
Avoid Chinese.
Because I actually bought it on Amazon during the lockdown. And I thought, brilliant, that no lockdown is stopping me from getting my wisteria. I can get it on Amazon. I wouldn't normally buy parts on Amazon. But it was lockdown, so I didn't know where else to get it. And I thought,
could you get it from somewhere like Crocus or something?
Stopping me, well, hindsight, wonderful thing.
Yeah, but they probably ran out, didn't they? Because everyone else was buying them.
I seem to remember having a lot of trouble getting it, but I was so determined, and I just thought, nothing's stopping me, and this thing arrived. In fact, 2 arrived. The other one I've put near the veggie garden that's away from foundations, so that's fine.
That'll be fine.
But then I started reading about the Chinese versus Japanese ones. And
gardening is full of these things, isn't it?
It's full of stress, isn't it?
It can
Why do
be.
we do it?
I don't know. It's meant to be relaxing.
Exactly. Not on my watch. I'll make it as stressful as possible.
It's all about looking at the nice things and avoiding the bad things.
Now, would you like a pond or a pool? You get
pool.
1 plant for this area. A pool.
Definitely a pool, not a pond, because of the stagnant water fears.
Great.
Yes.
Don't like the stagnant water thing.
Pool.
And it would be a kind of Mediterranean pool. I want a lounger, the whole deal. I don't want anything too natural.
No.
I want it to be a lovely pool with a big tree, like I thought maybe it could be an olive, a fig, a pomegranate, something like that, something very Mediterranean.
Pomegranate.
Yeah, the other thing that I like is a quince, but that probably isn't best for shade. But my favourite tree in the world is a catalpa tree. So I would have maybe be lying under the shade of a catalpa tree on a lounger.
Catalpa tree.
By the pool, which would be one of those ones which has a green, not a blue inner liner.
All right.
And it would be just with a dry, gravelly, not gravel because that'd be uncomfortable to walk on, wouldn't it? But, like limestone
Tiles.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, limestone. You said you wanted a green liner. I've never seen a green liner before in a pool.
Well, pools which are not bright blue, they're sort of got that kind of emerald green almost. They look more natural. They look more.
Yeah.
They kind of look they just look good. They look really good.
Will you have a lilo?
I don't know. I wouldn't have a lilo because I probably wouldn't actually get in the water.
Oh, you just look at it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just going to look at it.
I'd just lie on the lounger.
It's not stagnant.
Yeah, because I like to lie in shade looking at something warm, drinking something and doing a crossword on my phone probably. That would be my dream.
That does sound lovely.
Yes.
So you're on your lounger. And is your lounger a wooden one, presumably?
It probably is, but it doesn't have to be. But it's probably got a cushion on it.
Yeah.
It has to be comfortable.
What colour's your cushion?
It's probably
course.
cream, buff, something natural looking, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There might even be a little one of those things you pull out, like a little sort of table thing.
Oh,
Your drink, maybe your phone.
Like a little fridge.
A little small bowl of nuts. And I might just get up occasionally and walk into the pool up to my waist and out again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you have a pool house which would have a
No.
loo in it?
No, I don't
Okay,
think
so
I'd
you'd
have
have
a
to
pool
walk
house.
back up to the house.
No, I think pool houses were a bit too much. I would
Okay.
just want
So
them to
where are
back
you going to
up.
have your pump and your
That would all be hidden
system?
away and dealt with by other people. I wouldn't know about it.
The staff.
It's not,
Yeah.
the
We don't care
Cumberbatches.
about that.
I was going to say the Cumberbatch will handle that.
I would be walking up a little path with beautiful shrubs around me, all the wildy lovely, to the house where there'd be a little loo in the house.
Well, I mean, this does usually kind of bring us on to the next question, but you seem to have found your perfect seating area. But do you want another seating area?
Well, yes,
you get
I
a seating
probably
area,
do.
a drink, and a
So
plant.
seating area is, of course, really important. And I've just bought myself, finally, another thing I've been dreaming of, which is a garden sofa, which one of those corner ones. Living the dream. Living the dream. Because up till now, we've had some sun loungers, which I have repurposed as sofas by putting them against a wall with lots of cushions. And then eventually they just collapsed. So I thought, right, that's it. So I finally have bought a garden sofa, and I'm just delighted. Because you can lie flat on
what
it.
colour?
But also, obviously, kind of cream. Because everyone... Actually...
Obviously,
No, hang on. It's grey. No, the cushions are grey.
Oh. So it's not obviously cream.
No, it's not obviously cream. I then bought a couple of throws from Weaver Green, who I like, who do these plastic. They make them of plastic, but they're like normal blankets. They feel like normal blankets.
They recycled bottles?
Yeah, they recycle bottles.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I'm a big fan. So I bought a couple of those throws and I put them over the cushion so it looks a bit less grey.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, so they're kind of, more like kind of orangey or pinky, and then the other ones, I think, blue, grey, white checks or something. I can't remember.
Gorgeous.
So that's cool. But the thing, and that's worked brilliantly. But the other thing about garden seating though is that I often find that the nicest looking garden furniture is the least comfortable garden furniture. Because those ones which are made of metal, which basically look like a bike rack or a toaster.
Yeah.
And you sit on them and you get up and you've got like lines.
Yeah.
And I love the look of them, but
shorts,
I just suspect they're not going to be super comfy.
No.
And I do think that we should bring back the 1970 swing seat. Do you remember them? Okay, so
I absolutely do.
I have such big memories of these.
I like the idea.
Okay, so it would normally be orange and brown, or pink and orange, or some really garish colour.
That's cool.
Flowery. It would have a canopy on the top with a fringe.
Yeah, with the tassely fringe.
The actual metal tubular frame would normally be a bit rusted. And you'd sit in it, and the sun would do so. There was some chemical reaction with the sun, and that the highly man-made fabric of the floral cushion would become nuclear hot. Do you remember? And you'd sit on them, and your legs would burn. And it was the loveliest feeling, because you could lie in this, even because English summer days are normally quite not really hot enough.
Yeah.
But you'd be on one of those swing seats, and it would just be because it'd be so much hotter on there.
And so
because
comfortable.
Of the fabric. So comfortable.
But swinging is just wonderful,
heavenly.
isn't it? We bought a swinging chair. It's kind of like an egg. Yeah. You've probably seen them egg ones, which is on its own stand.
How does that feel inside?
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
You
feel like you're in a womb.
You can't get
Well, you are. That is literally what they've made.
And you've got a big round seat cushion and a big rectangular back cushion, and it's our little reading chair, isn't it? And you take your cup of tea,
you fall asleep,
and your book.
You don't read.
And can you close the door?
Oh no, it's not one like that. It's quite open at the front. It's
very
open. It's very open at the front. It's probably not as eggy as perhaps you're imagining.
Yes.
So it's got the whole front is open, but just the whole motion of swinging, and you can we've got a water butt nearby. You can just in foot reach, so you could just
get some stagnant water on your fingers.
Prod it with your prod it with your foot. Get a good swing going, and then we've got a lid on that. The whole tank, and that's what you use as your seat-side table, just next to the stagnant
very
water.
Good. Yes.
Yeah,
it's actually
swinging is lovely, isn't it? Swinging is just, and I just think swing seats are way too they're too tasteful now.
Yeah,
because you can't buy those.
You want that old.
Yeah, and I did actually look for one, because I thought, why not? Go for it. If you're going to do it, do it. But I couldn't find anything like they used to be, with sort of the orange flowers and everything.
Yeah. I remember that distinctly.
Yes.
Orange and brown.
Exactly. Often with brown as well, yeah. But they
Oh my
have
gosh.
kind of tasteful ones, which are kind of, brown, sort of,
Or
slightly
wooden ones.
buff, or wooden ones, yeah. And I just, it's not good. It's not doing it for me.
Do you know Mary Benger? She's got Borough Farm Gardens.
No.
She was on Garden as well, and we went to visit her place, and she gets she has a local company who makes these swing seats, and they deposit it in her garden beginning of each year, and it's there, so all the guests looking around the gardens get to see it, but Mary gets to have full use of it.
Oh, lovely.
And then they take it back at the end of the season, sell it on, and she gets a new one the
And
next
what
year.
is it? What's it
It's
like?
wooden. It's a wooden swing seat, painted. It's
Cream.
It had little hearts cut out of the wood at the back. Really tasteful,
Lovely.
gorgeous.
Really cute.
Yeah,
But not going to
Would
make
you want a swing seat?
the
then?
backs of your legs actually burn.
not
No,
not
that's-
nuclear heat in the backs of the legs.
No.
So, are you having that rather than the corner sofa for your dream garden?
No,
1970
well,
swing
it
seat.
depends what sort of dream we're talking about, I suppose. It's like, is it a
Your
sort of
dream.
fever dream
A
from your
nostalgic
childhood?
dream.
Or is it, no, I mean, I think it would, the dream would have to fit in with the whole by the pool lounger situation.
So the
So
aesthetic
it
of
would
it.
have to match
Okay.
that, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
I'm going for a buff, probably a buff cushion.
What about your drink for that area?
Yeah, and plant. And you'll find a
Yes.
plant.
So, yes, I've thought this one. I'm quite proud of my answer for this one, actually.
Oh.
My plant is going to be blackcurrant sage and lemon verbena. I'm allowed two, right? Blackcurrant sage and lemon verbena.
Whoa.
Or you can choose one of those. I tell you why. It's because when you rub the leaves, they're so beautiful. So blackcurrant sage smells like ribena, and lemon verbena smells like sherbet lemons. And
Gorgeous.
if you were lying there or sitting there and you could just do that, it's just lovely. So I would do that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So not
You can
to
have those
cut
in a
the
big
leaves
pot.
off and put in your tea.
And,
That's not your
and you can
drink,
put
then.
both of those in your tea. And also you can make syrups with both of those, sugar syrups, and make cold drinks from them as well.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, what
That's
a great idea.
Yeah.
Would that be your drink then, to have with those? Or
It
would
could
you have a
be.
different drink?
I mean, I do quite like lemon verbena tea, actually. But probably my dream drink would probably be some sort of very cold, fizzy, alcoholic drink, like Prosecco or something. Or maybe a good G&T.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put some elderflower in it or some kind of syrup in that. You could probably put lemon verbena syrup in a G&T.
Yeah, that could be quite cool.
Or what about in a Pimm's? You could put the leaves in the Pimm's.
You could do it in a Pimm's. I've never tried Pimm's with lemon verbena. It's normally mint,
So we need to
isn't it?
narrow down your fizzy drink.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Prosecco, gin and
Yeah.
tea.
All right, let's just say, I don't know.
It's a really hot summery day.
Choices.
It's a really hot summery day.
Well, it doesn't have to be. You
No,
might prefer cold and windswept.
I'll just say a gin and tonic then. Gin and tonic
G&T.
with some lemon verbena leaves in it, maybe.
Right. I'm going to read back to you your kind of full garden design so that we can see how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Right. Your garden boundary, you wanted kind of countryside garden, so nicely in and amongst the fields, and then just slightly kind of more garden-like, obviously in your garden with shrubs around the area, kind of mastic tree, Phaleria, angustifolia, sea buckthorn, figs. You then wanted a greenhouse, which was going to be 8 times by 5, so that equals 40 feet. With brick going up, weathered brick floor, radio, chair, beds, cedar framed. Then your 5 ornamentals: clematis, tritonata, rubrumarginata. I don't know if I said that right. I'll look it up later. Sisters, California poppies. Oh, sorry, no,
Tree
not that.
poppy,
Californian tree poppy. Abutilon, Kentridge pride. Allium roseum. Or rosy garlic. Then your 5 edibles, that was padron peppers, runner beans, raspberries, autumn variety, Japanese wineberries, and sweet corn. Your 1 tree was your Magnolia grandiflora, which was wall trained.
Can we get a mention in for mulberries for the edibles?
Oh, yes. Sorry, your special mention was the mulberries.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, of course. Then you wanted a pool, Mediterranean style, with a green linder, a catalpa tree, with a lounger, cushions underneath, cream, and obviously a little drink table on the side. That was just obvious. And then limestone underneath. And this is all looked up after by the Cumberbatches. And then
who are, by the way, no relation to Benedict. We thought of them before Benedict even existed. Before he was famous. I know, carry on.
Oh my gosh. And then finally you wanted a corner garden sofa with buff cushions and throws, blackcurrant sage, possibly lemon verbena in there as well. And then you're going to have a gin and tonic with lemon verbena leaves in it. And that is your garden.
It sounds amazing. I want to be there.
It does really.
I want to go to there.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. It's been brilliant talking to you, Alex. Thank you so much.
I really want to go to this garden now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'll come with you.
Thank
That's been
you.
a good old chit chat with Alex.